Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 22 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney and the final episode of Turnabout Samurai. Edgeworth, of all people, had forced Dee Vasquez to testify what happened to Jack Hammer's body and why it was dressed up as the evil magistrate, of all things. Well, here's the thing about that. She went there and picked up the body and had Olbag and, Elbag came in to see Jack Hammer lying there dead in an evil magistrate, but she and Sal was the one who dressed him up like that. And Will Powers just happened to wake up and was pretty much, by coincidence, blamed for that, because he was the only one in the suit, probably. Oh, sorry about that. I had to, deal with a scam caller. Sorry about that. But whatever the case, you don't need to tell me twice. I've already found out a few lies here. For one, she talked about getting her script. In fact, Powers showed up, and of course that was all well and good, but it's that line where she said she went back to her trailer and got her script. That's a lie, because if you remember in part 14, she made us go get it. Actually, she gave us a memo to give to Salmonella to get it. So press harder on that statement. And if you've watched my playthroughs, that would actually, boom, come right into your memory. So on that note, she's also mentioned something about rehearsing as well. But that still doesn't change the fact that she forgot her script. Or didn't even get the script at all. And Phoenix is just as baffled as everyone here at the fact that Edgeworth is actually stepping in to help. Did I mention he was a huge Steel Samurai fan? And now that he knows that Will Powers is innocent, he's letting his hobbies take over his profession. And by the way, what they're doing is pretty much badgering the witness. This isn't the first time Wright and Edgeworth teams up, and it certainly isn't the last. Oh boy. In fact, it happens later on in this game. Whatever the case, Phoenix is just as baffled as everybody else because of the fact that they're both actually double-teaming the witness. Because even he finds bullshit in her facade. Now, once the testimony has been fixed and mentions something about Hammer being injured, you present the Will Powers photo onto the testimony. Because guess what? It was not Jack Hammer that was injured, it was Will Powers. And I just stuttered again, and I apologize for that. The only person who did not know about Will Powers being injured, I should say, was her. Jack Hammer knew, Wendy Olbag knew, Salmonella knew, she didn't. It's all the more reason why she thought Jack Hammer was injured. Of course, she saw him carrying around his leg, and she said Sal told him. Here's the problem. By the time Salmonella got to her, Jack Hammer was already there, waiting to kill Dee Vasquez. So, he didn't tell you the wrong person. In other words, you saw saw Jack Hammer. That's why. So with that said, it's all starting to make sense. Jack Hammer was literally coming to kill Dee Vasquez, and he beat Salmonella there. That's the only reason why he was lipping the way he was. And just as he was about to attack, Dee Vasquez pushed him off of the stairs and onto the fence. And this is why she should pay attention to her employees. So on that note, it seems we've basically cracked this open. All we need now is a motive. And she is furiously smoking her cigar. Uh-oh. She may have a way to refute this. And there it is. You forgot to mention the motive. Even though she may or may not have killed him, they still haven't figured out why. And sorry I was coughing there. Anyway, here's something that will actually give you a bigger penalty than some of the last missions. Some of the last questions, actually. If you say, "Of course I can," that will continue on. So basically, you throw in the picture 5 years ago. And here's the thing, if you chose you can't prove it, you're actually gonna take a hit, a real hard hit. That's all I was trying to say, but it all just went a little bit slowly. Sorry about that. But see, here's the thing. Dee Vasquez slipped this whole entire ordeal into the carpet, but despite the fact that she looks like a sinister gangster, she really wanted to make money and wanted her actors to be on their best. Even if Salmonella is it's a masochist. And, she cruelly put, Jack Hammer through the ringer. And that's the problem. That's the problem people are trying to figure out. What is her motive? In other words, the fact that she had no motive. And here's the thing. This will give you a 2 penalty if you, say reveal evidence. Just say she had no motive. In other words, she actually killed him for self-defense. And Will Powers was blamed for it, unfortunately. Jack Hammer really was, indeed, a serial killer. And he just had all he could stand of Dee Vasquez and did what he did the way he did it. And sorry if I keep repeating myself, but that is how this case practically turned out. So it's not that bad of a case after all. Actually, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's just some difficult spots and some things that'll throw you off. But this is probably the first case of self-defense in the entirety of the Phoenix Wright series. And it's that moment Dee's no longer smoking her pipe. And finally, she feels exonerated. Unfortunately, this would have been an accident, but unfortunately it wasn't. So, here's the thing. Dee Vasquez literally was traumatized of seeing her actors die. So that's why she's so mellow and melancholic. And that's why she acts the way she does, because she has seen her actors die more than once, and I don't think she could have took it. But the second time, it was of her own doing, and she kind of had no choice, because the same man who killed the guy that was working for her tried to kill her. And unfortunately, that meant she's arrested. But that also means... oh, excuse me. But that also means Will Powers is exonerated. And were it not for, Edgeworth, he pretty much would have... Will Powers would have been in jail by now. So, with that said, I think this may be the last time Edgeworth will be helping you until near the end of the game. That reminds me, we are practically nearing the end of the game. We only got 2 more cases left. And with that said, Will Powers is free. So why exactly did Jack Hammer did what he did? It's kind of a scumbag, to be honest. Well, you'll see in a little bit. Well, one thing's for sure, Will Powers is a free man. And there has been so many times that dude would have been serving prison time for a crime he didn't commit. Funny thing, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, there literally was a person who was serving time for a crime he didn't commit. Yeah, that was a fall from grace, to be honest. So, you want to show evidence to, Will Powers, and what you want to do is whip out the Path to Glory or the Samurai Spear. It doesn't matter which one, but practically the Path to Glory. And it turns out, Jack Hammer was jealous of Will Powers because of the fact that Will Powers literally has the most popular role in all of the world, and Jack Hammer is forever known as the evil magistrate, even though he's a well-good actor and far more of an experienced actor than what Will Powers was. Oh, and with that said, folks, sorry you hear my cat in the background. He's just being annoying. I'll deal with him in just a little bit. With that said, Will Powers is finally free of having to deal with all those scandals and stuff. And that means one thing. The Seal Samurai can make a comeback. And by the way, folks, it actually does. And Will Powers becomes even more of a famous superstar later on in the series. But it's not just Maya that's relieved. It's also Edgeworth. Edgeworth practically shows up for Edgeworth shows up fractionally to meet up with his hero, and probably he's actually a huge fan of Steel Samurai. In fact, Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, he has a whole bunch of Steel Samurai paraphernalia in his office. In fact, there'll be times in later cases in this game you'll actually see said Steel Samurai paraphernalia. Yeah, he's a massive fanboy in that regard. But he gives Phoenix an ominous warning to don't show his face in front of him again. Oh, there is a reason, ladies and gentlemen. That reason happens to be the very next case that's about to happen. And we're gonna end up having to tell about the deal with Phoenix and Edgeworth later on. But folks, this was probably a filler, and that was probably a feel-good case to try to take our minds off of the seriousness of DL6. And speaking of taking their minds off of the seriousness, they actually did make at least Salmonella actually did make the Pink Princess. So on that note, there's a new thing that people can get into. Oh boy, I didn't think this was gonna happen, but they did. But whatever the case, we're done with this one. And the next one is probably everyone's favorite, Turnabout Goodbyes. Which, by the way, led up to that ominous warning that Edgeworth gave Phoenix Wright. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to continue our escapades with the DL6 incident starting in part 23. This is RVman985. See you guys next time.